Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 Cast by Glitch. Man, do I have an exciting series for you guys today. I have spawning in the top right corner as the green Protoss, Grubby, and spawning in the bottom left corner as the red Terran, we have LiquidTLO. Is that a matchup or what? This matchup is going to be absolutely insane. This is going to be game 1 of a best of 7, and I am going to cast the whole damn series. I am determined. I'm going to do it. I am going to do it this whole series. Going to do it tonight. Going to do it tonight. All in one night. This is going to be a marathon for me, but this is just such an epic matchup. I had to cast it. Now, as I said, it is a best of 7. I believe it is from the ESL. I'm like half the maps are ESL maps, so I think it is from the ESL. That is the Electronic Sports League. I think it is a major online tournament, and it is. I'm pretty sure that that's where these games are from. They were just uploaded today, and so I'm super excited to cast it. I haven't cast Grubby games in a while. I know that some of my subscribers are huge Grubby fans, so I was super stoked to cast these games for my Grubby fans, as well as TLO. I mean, TLO is just awesome. Everyone loves TLO. TLO is just always doing awesome things, and he's such a good player. Super nice guy also. So I'm just looking forward to a whole series of just really epic games. So, for game 1, I think I already mentioned that this is going to be a ZVT on Xel'Naga Caverns. I believe I mentioned that already. If I didn't, it is indeed going to be a ZVT on Xel'Naga Caverns. Pretty balanced map. A map very well known for being pretty well balanced. The only one difficult thing about this map, or one of the most difficult things about this map, is the choice of thirds on this map. Because taking a third can be a little bit tricky. Taking a third requires, if you are going for this expansion over here, feeling a little less risky, there are rocks here that do require be broken down before you can take this expansion, and if you do, your opponent has fairly easy access to that as a third base. Your other option is, of course, the gold, for which, again, there are destructible rocks in your way. So pretty much to take a third base, you got to destroy some destructible rocks somewhere, and this expansion, these gold expansions, are kind of out in the middle of the map, so it can be a little bit difficult to hold those two positions there. Both players so far just scouting. Both players going fairly standard so far. We've got one barracks. We've got a factory coming up here for LiquidTLO. I would not be surprised to see possibly some early Hellions just to get some scouting information in. Hellions aren't too commonly used in the TVZ matchup just because they tend to get taken down by pretty much anything other than Zealots. They do pretty well against Zealots if you're kiting dem Zealots, but otherwise they don't do that great against most of the rest of the Protoss force. Much more likely to see siege tanks, or just as a gateway into the starport. Now, as we can see, he is actually getting that Hellion up. Look at me all being right about TLO's play. Now, Grubby going for a very interesting style of play, where he has actually just thrown down one gateway, he's got a cybernetics core, and he has just now thrown down a robotics facility. I would think that this is most likely going to be for scouting purposes. He's probably going to be getting an observer out of there pretty soon, and TLO making a nice little curve of Marines there. Grubby going to be poking out with this Stalker, and one Zealot to try to poke into the main, try to see what's going on in the base of LiquidTLO. Pushing forward, actually doing a surprising amount of damage, getting this Zealot all the way into the base. I'm not sure if that was a bit of miscontrol, or whether he was actually looking for scouting information, whether he was looking to scout a command center going down, or to check to see if TLO is planning on expanding it anytime soon, or whether that was just a misclick. I'm not sure, but it looks like we're seeing a very fast medevac here from TLO. Looks like this is going to be indicating to me some kind of drop play coming up. Probably, as he is moving now, his forces across the map going to be probably placing them in this corner, elevating them up into the main of Grubby. Grubby has not yet expanded. He's doing a little bit of an interesting wall off here with probes. Very interesting style of play here from Grubby, but I'm sure Grubby knows what he's doing. A very good, well-practiced player from Warcraft 3, has a lot of experience in real-time strategy. The Observer's just now gone out, a second gateway has been thrown down, Warp Gate just now finishing. He is going to be getting that Warp Gate research and throwing down dem Warp Gates. Now moving across the map is this Observer, going to be scouting, seeing what's going on, but this medevac has now been loaded up with 3 Hellions, and they are going to be going for a little bit of a drop, it looks like. but well-placed pylon here by Grubby. Check out this excellent pylon placement. Now let's see, did he actually see that starport? He did not, or he did actually see that starport, so he was expecting some drop play, so he's placed a pylon here on the side of the map, and it is going to be just perfect to scout that medevac coming around the side of the map. And we see he's even placing a pylon here in this lower portion of his base, so that he has vision there, so that drops can't go down there without his knowing. He does know that this drop is going to be coming, and it looks like TLO, having seen that pylon, knows that his drop has been spotted. Looks like he is just going to be dropping those Hellions to go do some scouting information. In the meantime, he is throwing up another barracks. This means he is now sitting on 2 barracks almost, with a factory going down and a 3rd barracks now going down. Starport has now come up, and a Banshee is just now coming out onto the field. No cloak being researched, but it looks like he's going to be poking in, trying to get some worker kills there with that Banshee. Looks like he's not trying to do any kind of cloaked play, as no cloak has started researching yet, but he does have his next command center, and it looks like he is going to be going for an expansion. Grubby also going for an expansion of his own right now, going for an immortal style of play. Good unit placement here by Grubby, getting ready for those drops in case there are any Hellion drops in his main. He's got Stalkers placed all around his mineral line. Excellent play there by Grubby. Just still sitting on that 2 warp gate, but the robotics bay going down right now. Going to be getting some of those Colossi, going to be able to do a lot of damage, assuming his opponent goes for a lot of that gateway units, which of course he knows his opponent is going for, because he does have this observer in the base. Did see the add-ons coming down on these barracks. Very important to notice what kind of add-ons are going on your opponent's barracks in this matchup, because depending on whether your opponent goes for a very heavy Marauder or heavy Marine play, it can very much affect the outcome of the match, just because as you can see, a lot of tech labs have been thrown down. This means that he's going to be going very heavy Marauder. This is very good against a lot of gateway units. Especially once these Marauders have that concussive shell ability. It allows them to kite a lot of those Zealots, a lot of those Stalkers, and just deal a ton of damage, really. So, a very interesting mix from TLO. He's got a couple of Banshees out on the field right now, and Marine Marauder balls with medevac for support. Looks like Grubby is now content to just macro up. He's gotten some sentries early, going for a small number of gateway units, constantly producing out of these 2 warp gates, but he's now getting up his Colossi. This is going to be a very interesting style of play. His Zealots do not have that charge yet, and another gateway just now finishing, so it looks like he is going to be going for a 3-gate robo. This is a very standard mix for Protoss, but it was a very interesting way of getting here. This was a very interesting style, interesting way of getting there that I have never seen before, actually. And the Banshees now being revealed take a kill off of that Stalker, and are now moving into the main. Looks like Grubby is going to be placing some of his Stalkers here in position to try to deny these Banshees from dealing too much damage, but in the meantime, we've got a small force here moving out from TLO at the front. A small group of Marauders, Marines, and a few Hellions going to be moving up on the main. A scan goes down. He does see what his opponent has here. This is a very interesting kind of style from Grubby. Very interesting matchup here. Some force fields going down, trying to split up his opponents. Not that effective, though, against all of these units. They are forcing TLO to pull back, though. TLO looks like he has decided he does not want to commit. He does not want to filter through those well-placed force fields there by Grubby. Those force fields, while they didn't prevent his opponent from shooting, as sometimes force fields are used to prevent an opponent from shooting, to keep half of the opponent's forces split up, essentially dividing the army in half. Grubby instead decided to place his force fields in a defensive position where TLO would have to decide, do I want to push forward and try to push through those force fields and kind of be strained through those